Anyway, one thing that I forgot to cover when this actually happened. A very interesting thing that happened in Australia over the last few months. There was like this spate of anti-Semitic like vandalisms and like half-assed attacks on synagogues and like Jewish community centers and stuff. And it seemed like way too perfect, right? Because this is like precisely what the Zionists want. Like they want hate crimes to happen, like that they can then paint as like there being a wave of anti-Semitism, but they don't want these supposed hate crimes to be like actually hurtful and impactful. They just want to like create an aura of anti-Semitism that they can then use to defend Israel and justify genocide. And that's very interesting because obviously it benefits that side, right? It doesn't benefit the other side. So it seems very unlikely that the other side would do that. Especially like, why would they like do, even if they were actual anti-Semites, why would they engage in such incredibly ineffective attacks? Like bombs that were never going to go off, that obviously were never going to go off, like random shitty graffiti, like basically throwing tomatoes at a synagogue, stuff like that. Like annoying, but ultimately not impactful in the slightest. And you would think that like actual anti-Semites would want to hurt people or like at least hurt the buildings or something. They didn't even do that. And then recently being like a month ago, it came out that the Australian Federal Police investigated a lot of these attacks, and they think that like the people involved who carried them out had nothing to do. Like they weren't anti-Semites. They were random people who were paid by an as of yet unspecified foreign actor to do this sort of thing. As this article says, police believes foreign actors paying local criminals to commit crimes amid a surge in anti-Semitic incidents. What foreign actor could this possibly be? You know, who could this be? I would say like it's going to be some like Zionists operating under the cover of like 5 different shell companies. Because, you know, why would like any of the Arab countries, for example, do this? They know that doing something like this would just play into the Zionist narrative. So it wouldn't make any sense strategically for them to do this. You know, when you think of it like Occam's razor, like the most basic idea of who this could be, it's certainly like a foreign and pro-Zionist organization likely covering their own ass by operating, you know, under a bunch of VPNs and proxies and like shell companies and probably sending them crypto or something. Because there's no logical reason that foreign actors who are pro-Palestine would pay for this sort of thing, given that they surely know that it would just play into the narrative of the pro-genocide crowd. Who is it who wants to spur this sort of thing? Who is it who wants these sorts of things to happen so that they create this narrative of a gross anti-Semitism crisis that then somehow miraculously justifies genocide in Gaza, and then they can then frame like being anti-genocide, being anti-Zionist with like being in league with those people. So it's very clear that at least I mean, it's not very clear, obviously. They haven't commented yet on exactly who this is. But the police are investigating. And not that I would trust the Australian police, but the very fact that they're even coming out here and admitting that this is unlikely to be real organic anti-Semitic incidents is in of itself like going to be a reluctant admission from them, because obviously the Australian government is disgustingly pro-Israel. So I seriously doubt that they would say this, that they would just come out like this, unless like it was so serious and they had like such good leads regarding these being like false flag attacks that they are sort of basically forced into admitting it. So I mean, it will be interesting to see where this goes. I think the most likely culprit is as I said, like Zionists paying off these people, but ultimately this seems like the sort of thing that would be very easy to hide. Like the only way that you can track, say, someone hiding behind like 5 different fucking layers of fake identities and VPNs and stuff, paying with cryptocurrency, for example, it just seems very unlikely that you would be able to figure out exactly who that was. But when you think about who's more likely to want this sort of thing to happen, who's more likely to pay for it, obviously it's the fucking Zionists, because this only plays into their narrative and their strategy and no one else's.